Hey everybody, how's it going out there today? Got me. I'm telling you, I'm gonna start calling this my risque pipe. It's the one Daniel Shore sent me. It's a naked pipe. Told him it's kind of risque sending me something naked in the mail. Hopefully my wife doesn't catch on to that. I got guys from YouTube sending me naked stuff in the mail. Oh man, watch out. I'm going to come at you with another, I think, a quicker childhood story for you this time. I'd mentioned before about when we were young. Of course, it was typically my two older brothers and me that ran around the most because my younger sister was, again, I don't remember, 3 or 4 years younger than me. So, and she was into girly stuff. She didn't want to be out, running around causing trouble like we were. And so, for whatever reason, they got us a BB gun one year. And it was for all of us to share. And of course, this is a million years ago, so, and it wasn't a pump. It wasn't, it was a little spring. You cock the spring in it, shoot it, and after, a couple years, you could shoot it and almost watch the BB roll at the end of the barrel when that spring wore out. But when it was new, hey, it was cool for us. And it would sting. It would put a welt on you when we first got it. How do we know that? Well, you know how we knew that. So anyway, we would go out and we would cause all kinds of trouble with this thing. And so a couple of things that I can remember doing. One, remember I told you that I got shot right in the, I think it's the Christmas Story. You'll put your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out. Well, I got shot right in the eyeball. Dead center in the eyeball. And I'm glad it was a little puny weak spring in there. Because I don't know if I'd put my eye out, but it would have, I'm sure it would have caused some damage. And who shot me in the eye? This guy right here. Hey, I was a kid. No, I was not looking down the barrel. You ever been to like an arena football game or, something like that where they have like the little tiny promo footballs that just about fit in your hand, little plastic or rubber, I don't know what they're made out of, football. Well, there was one laying on the ground one time, so I walked right up to it, aim right at the center of it, hit it, and that sucker hit and bam, bounced right back and hit me in the eyeball. And it's like, do I say I'm going to throw this gun down and never shoot it again? Absolutely not. Just don't be that close and don't shoot directly into a football again. So that's what you learn from that. And so, but what we would like to do, and I don't know what my parents thought. When you buy your 3 boys a BB gun, what do they think you're going to go shoot? Cans and bottles and stuff? Not a chance. So we like to sneak out of the house. We'd go shoot out street lights or the neighbor's porch lights or stuff like that. Well, one time we had snuck out, grabbed the BB gun, and I don't know, kind of across our backyard, across another empty field, there was a road, not a incredibly heavy traffic road, but it got some decent traffic on it, and there was, a ditch in there, hadn't been mowed, so it was all full of weeds. Well, we got down in that ditch, stick the barrel through those weeds, and then when we would see a car coming, we'd each take turns seeing if we could hit the car. Make sure, you got to shoot towards the front wheel or whatever, and maybe you'll hit the door or hit the back panel or something like that, depending on how fast the car was going. So I don't know whether we were keeping score or not, but we'd take turns. Okay, you hit, you miss, you hit, you miss, et cetera, et cetera. Well, my brother was shooting, and here comes this car. Bam, shoots, ting, and you can hear it hit. You got a BB hitting the metal door. Ting, hits the door. And the car comes to, they're probably going 20, 25 miles an hour, comes to a stop, backs up, and we start to get, you know, a little nervous. And then all of a sudden, up here on this corner, there's a spotlight that comes on and rotates out, and it is the county sheriff. You talk about almost wetting our pants. I mean, we were hugging that embankment, you know, slither back down as low as we can go. And he kind of backed up and went forward, and he looked around, and I guess maybe he thought it was, you know, he probably knew immediately that didn't sound like a rock. But maybe since he didn't see anything, maybe thought, well, I don't know what it was. But then he drove on, and we took off running like crazy. And that may have been the time where I broke my thumb. Because we were running, that's where I tripped over that tree stump. You know, I told you in another story, and I fell and I broke my thumb. But it didn't matter. We had to get out of there. And so we had a garage. It was not attached to the house, beside the house, a little one-car garage, and it was very deep and very long. We had like workbench and tools and set up at the front, and you could still get the car in there. Well, we'd get the ladder out and put up there, and we'd crawl up and get on the garage and, you know, do whatever and mess around. And so we had an old bench seat out of a pickup that we had set up down on the ground. And so we had it set up. So here's the roof of the garage, and then you got your bench seat like this. And so we'd be up there, we're playing Old West movie. We'd get shot, we'd fall down, roll down the garage, and we'd land on that seat. And of course, at enough force, we'd kind of land, and then it'd tip over, and we'd get up, set it back up, and go crawl on and do it again. I can't imagine what my parents would have done if they would have caught us doing something like that. And so I'm up there, and what does my brother do? He runs and gets a BB gun, and of course he starts shooting at me. Bing, bing, bing. He says, well, you're playing like you're getting shot. I'm going to make sure you get shot. And so we did. Oh, I mean, I can't tell you all the crazy stuff we did with that BB gun. And so we had a blast with it. It was fun. There's no way I'd ever let my kids do something like, you know, crazy like that. Of course, now my daughter's into way bigger guns than that, so, but I think she's got a little bit more sense than I do. And then some, my dad always say, you boys don't have sense, that you don't have the sense that God gave a goose. That was one of his always favorite sayings. And some of the times I wonder, and we lived, I set my tamper down. I don't know what I did with it. We lived right next door to the mayor's house. I remember, it has nothing to do with the BB gun, but the mayor's house, you know, it reminds me of, we were painting our house one time, and he had this wooden fence over there, painted all nice and red. It looked kind of redwood, you know, cherry wood look, but it wasn't. It was just the way it was painted or stained. So we're painting our house white. What do? We go paint a section of his fence white. Oh, man, he was mad. Oh. And then something for fun if you want to do. I'll get a couple little quick stories in here. This works with a dumpster. You know, people talk about getting mailbox bombs. Do not do this in a mailbox. Don't do this. Let me just put it that way. Don't even attempt this. But if you take a balloon, like a water balloon or rubber balloon that you'd blow up, put your acetylene torch on there, fill it up with acetylene, tie it off, and then go get if you can find them anymore, get a full-size grocery bag, paper bag, put the balloon in there, wrap the top of it up, catch the top of it on fire, and then go throw it in a dumpster and close the lids, and you get a pretty good bang out of it, and watch the lids blow up and open. Do not do that, everybody. That is not something you want to do. But it was fun. So anyway, I don't know how we survived growing up and kept all of our, you know, arms and limbs and fingers and only a few broken bones. I broke my brother's leg when we were doing, you know, what was it called at the time? WWF wrestling, but it was his fault. I had thrown him on the ground, and of course, I climb up on the bed or something. I don't remember what it was, a chair, and you know, I'm going to come and land right on him. Well, as I get up in the air, there's no stopping me. He puts his leg right up in the air. It's like nothing I could do but land right on it, busted his leg. That was my little brother I did that to. So I'm about 6 years older than him, and so, of course, I'm the mean one now, but, it was his fault. If he would have never put his leg up there, if he'd have just let me slam on top of him, we'd have been okay. If he's smart, he'd put his knee up there. That would have caused me some trouble. So anyway, just a few childhood stories. I'll see if I can come up. I'm sure I can come up with a few more. I got one I just now thought of where I got my lip ripped open with a piece of chain. So I'll tell you that story sometime. I still got a scar there. It's still hard for me I can't grow a mustache right in that one little spot there. And I can still feel big old scar tissue on the inside. But yeah, got a chain in the mouth, ripped it wide open. So anyway, I'll tell you that sometime. And thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all next time.